You kiss your cat goodbye, grab your keys and walk out the door, and for a second, maybe you wonder, are they okay in there? Most owners picture their cat doing what cats do, napping in a sunbeam, grooming themselves, living their best lazy life. But what actually happens the moment that door closes behind you is something most owners have never seen. And if you had a camera running 24/7, there's a good chance it would completely change the way you think about leaving. Because your cat doesn't just wait for you. They go through something. Something real, something deep, and something they've never been able to tell you about. And by the time we get to number 4 in this video, I think you're going to look at your cat very differently tonight. Point 1, they watch you leave. And they remember every detail. Have you ever caught your cat sitting perfectly still near the door, right as you're heading out? Maybe on the windowsill, maybe at the top of the stairs, just watching. That's not casual. That's deliberate. Cats are observational learners. From the moment you start your leaving routine, picking up your keys, putting on your shoes, checking your phone, your cat's brain is already tracking every signal. They've memorized your pattern down to the smallest detail. The sound of a specific bag, the jingle of certain keys, the way you move when you're about to be gone for an hour versus the whole day. Research from the University of Tokyo found that cats can distinguish their owner's voice from a stranger's and react differently based on emotional tone. What that tells us is that cats are far more tuned into you specifically than most people ever realize. So when you leave, they're not confused. They know exactly what's happening. And that knowing, for some cats, it's completely fine. But for others, especially deeply bonded cats, that moment of watching you go is the hardest part of their entire day. The real question is what happens next, because what they do in the first few minutes after you're gone reveals something about your bond that no amount of purring or head bumping can fully show you. Point 2, they search for you. In every room. Here's something that might stop you in your tracks. For the first several minutes after you leave, many cats don't settle. They don't curl up and drift off. They walk through the house, room to room, looking for you, not frantically, not in a panic, but quietly, deliberately, checking every place you normally are. Your side of the bed, your chair, the bathroom, the kitchen. Animal behaviorists studying home alone cat behavior have found that bonded cats frequently patrol their owner's personal spaces shortly after departure. They're not lost. They know you're gone. What they're doing is something much more layered than that. They're processing your absence through scent. Every space you occupy regularly carries your smell. And for a cat, scent is memory, safety, and connection all at once. By moving through those spaces, they're essentially surrounding themselves with you, the closest thing they have to your presence when you're not there. It's the same reason your cat might sleep on your worn clothes or curl up in your chair when you're away. It's not random comfort seeking. It's them choosing you, even when you're not in the room. And if you have a cat who always seems to be in whatever room you just left, now you know why. Point 3, the silence changes them more than you think. Most people assume cats are independent creatures who thrive in quiet and solitude. And while that's true for some cats, it's a dangerous assumption to make about your cat without actually paying attention. Because here's what the research actually shows. A 2015 study published in PLOS One measured stress indicators in cats left alone, including cortisol levels, behavioral changes, and vocalization patterns. What they found surprised a lot of people in the veterinary world. Many cats, particularly those with strong owner bonds, showed measurable stress responses during separation. Not all of them, but far more than the cats are independent narrative would suggest. And the tricky part? Most of them showed it silently. No howling, no destruction, no obvious signs, just a quieter version of themselves. Less movement, lower engagement, a kind of stillness that looks like peace from the outside, but feels very different on the inside. This is why so many owners never realize their cat struggles when they're gone. Because cats don't perform their distress the way dogs do. They internalize it. They go still. They wait. And waiting for an animal wired to hunt, explore, and connect is harder than it looks. Point 4, They have a spot, and it tells you everything. Here's the part I mentioned at the beginning, the one that tends to hit owners hardest. If you could watch your cat after that initial search is over, after they've checked your spaces and accepted the quiet, you'd find them in one specific place, not just any comfortable spot. Their spot, the one they return to every single time you're gone. For most bonded cats, that spot has one thing in common. It carries your scent the strongest. Your pillow, your side of the sofa, a hoodie you left on the couch. Feline behavioral studies confirm that cats left alone gravitate toward objects with their owner's scent and spend significantly more resting time in those locations compared to when their owner's home. Think about what that means. When you're there, your cat can choose anywhere. They have you, the real thing. But the moment you leave, they find the closest substitute they can. The place that still smells like you. The place that still feels, in some small way, like you haven't completely gone. That's not an animal who doesn't care whether you come home. That's an animal who misses you in the only language they know how to speak. Point 5. They know when you're coming back. Before you arrive. You haven't pulled into the driveway yet. You haven't even turned onto your street. And somehow your cat is already at the door. Most owners chalk this up to coincidence or superhearing, but what's actually happening is far more interesting. Cats track time through environmental rhythms, light shifts, sound patterns, even subtle changes in air pressure. But more than that, bonded cats track you specifically. Your usual schedule becomes embedded in their daily pattern. Studies on animal chronobiology, the science of biological clocks, show that domestic cats develop highly accurate internal timing around their owners' routines. They begin showing pre-arrival behavior, moving toward the door, becoming more alert, vocalizing softly, up to 10 minutes before their owner typically returns. They're not guessing. They've been paying attention every single day, building a picture of your rhythm so detailed that your absence has a shape, a length, and a predictable end. And here's the part that matters most. That moment they hear your key in the lock, the tension they've been quietly carrying all day, it releases. Their whole body changes. The waiting is over. They weren't just killing time while you were gone. They were counting down to you. Point 6. What you can do so they never feel truly alone. Now that you know what's really happening while you're away, here's how you can make it easier for them. Without rearranging your entire life, leave something that smells like you, a worn t-shirt, an unwashed pillowcase placed in their favorite spot. It sounds simple because it is. But for your cat, that scent is an anchor. It tells them, even in an empty house, that you exist and you're coming back. Give them a real goodbye ritual, not a rushed pat on the head, a moment. Slow blink, gentle stroke, soft words in a calm tone. Cats who receive a consistent goodbye routine show lower stress indicators during separation. That small moment tells their nervous system, this is safe, this is normal, they'll be back. Create something to engage with while you're gone. A window perch with an outdoor view, a puzzle feeder, a bird feeder placed just outside the glass. Not because your cat needs entertainment, but because having something to focus on gives their hunting brain a healthy outlet instead of silence. And when you come home, don't ignore them. Even if they pretend not to care, even if they walk away like they're unbothered, give them a moment of real acknowledgement. They've been waiting. They've been holding a space for you all day. The least they deserve is to know you noticed. Your cat doesn't love you the way humans love each other. They love you the way a small, wild, deeply instinctual animal loves the one person in the world who made them feel safe enough to stay. And every day that you walk out that door and come back, you're proving to them that their trust was right. So tonight, when you get home and your cat shows up, whether they sprint to the door or just open one eye from across the room, know this. They knew you were coming. They've been waiting. And to them, you coming home is the best part of the whole day. If this made you see your cat differently, share it with someone who loves their cat. They need to hear this too.